वेलकम टू एजुकेशनल टेक्निक चैनल मोर आज आपण मन नहीं आज इंग्लीश वीडियो जहाँकि प्लस टू फर्स्ट ईयर पिला माने आर्ट्स कॉमर्स साइंस में देखिपारे दया सब्सक्राइब करूँ ये वीडियो देखिबार सुजोग पातु। नमस्कार, चलते आम स्टार्ट करिया वीडियो। This is the first poem of the plus two first year students. English subject is a compulsory subject for the arts, commerce and science, and this is the first poem of the plus two first year students. The Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, which is composed by the Robert Frost. Robert Frost is composed. Okay, the first before going through the topic, we have to know first what is the gist or what is the theme of the topic. The Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening represents the thoughts that the pass through the poet's mind as he stops his horse in a wood on the evening when the snow has begun to fall. Then when the poet across the woods means jungle, at that time the snow has begun to fall. But during the snow are falling downwards to the forest, at that time it creates a beautiful nature, and by seeing that beautiful nature the poet was so much fascinated. So the poet stopped here and think something and write about that poem while he was sleeping or taking rest in the bedroom. So now we have to discuss the something about the Robert Frost. Robert Frost was born on the 26th March 1874 and died on 1963, and he was born in San Francisco in California रा San Francisco रे से जन्मग्रहण करथिले. And his poems are related the beauties of nature and deeply meaningful. These poems are which were written by the poet, and the joys and sorrowful sorrows of the ordinary men and women are described in his poems. Poem रे कौन ना माने मनुष्य मानकर जो मानकर पुआ और झील हो स्त्री लोक और पुरुष लोक हो से जयज और सरज यही मानक नहीं दुख और खुशी विषय संबंधित नहीं पोएमटा एटा डीपली मीनिंगफुल भी और रिलेटेड टुवर्ड्स द ब्यूटीज ऑफ द नेचर. इन हिज पोएम ही एक्सप्रेस्ड द ब्यूटीज ऑफ नेचर. बिफोर गोइंग थ्रू द टॉपिक थ्रू द poem, we have to discuss some difficult words one by one. Some difficult words are woods means jungle, whose woods owner of the woods माने जहाँ जंगल. क्वेयर मिलला स्ट्रेंज जोटा कि आम कहीपर दी थर स्ट्रेंज लिख देছি सॉरी तो स्ट्रेंज और सरप्राइज माने लिखिपर. तो फ्रोजन लेक माने लेक टर्न्ड इनटू आइस ताने जो लेकटारे आइस पड़ी पूरा परिपूर्ण हो जाए. हार्नेस बेल्स स्मॉल बेल्स which was rounded by the neck of the horse माने घोड़ार बेकरे कौन कर बंधा. फ्लेक्स पीस ऑफ स्नो माने खंड गुड़िक सब तल को पड़ा. डाउन मीन्स फॉल डाउनवर्ड तल को खसवा. 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometer. So now we have to go the topic. This is the first stanza of the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, which is written or composed or narrated by the Robert Frost. Whose woods these are? I think I know. His house is in village, though he will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Whose woods means the owner of the woods. माने कहार woods. Now owner of woods. These are I think I know. His house is in the village though. तामने the poet thought that the owner's house or whose woods is that owner's house is in the village. अर्थात जार ये जंगलटा से जंगलटा जार ସେଇ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିଟି ବା ସେଇ ଅନରଟିର ଘର ଭିଲେଜ ଭିତରେ ଅଛି ବୋଲି ସେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି। ଦ ପୋଏଟ୍ who has ride long distance in order to fulfill what he has promised finds himself by the woods late in the evening and during the snowing time. ତାହେଲେ while the poet passed through the jungle, he stopped some while to feel the beautiful nature of the jungle. At that time, he told himself that he knew that the owner of the woods is in the village. So he was not worry about that. He need not worry about that. So he will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. He refers to the owner of the woods. Owner of the woods will not see the poet stopping here. So କହୁଛନ୍ତି although the owner's house is in the village, but the owner won't see the poet that the poet stopped at the jungle. ବା poet ଜଙ୍ଗଲରେ ରହିଛନ୍ତି ବୋଲି ଅଟକିଛନ୍ତି ବୋଲି ସିଏ ଜାଣିପାରିବ ନାହିଁ ବିକଜ ତା ଘର ହେଉଛି କେଉଁଠି ଆମର ଭିଲେଜରେ, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସେ ଦେଖିପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। ଟୁ ୱାଚ୍ ହିଜ୍ ଉଡ୍ସ ଫିଲ୍ ଅପ୍ ୱିଥ୍ ସ୍ନୋ, ତା ଉଡ୍ସକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେ ଦେଖିପାରିବନି ହୁଇଚ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଫିଲ୍ଡ ଅପ୍ ୱିଥ୍ ସ୍ନୋ। ତ ଡ୍ୟୁରିଂ ହିଜ୍ ଜର୍ଣ୍ଣି he noticed some beautiful nature and he stops for a while to lose himself in the enjoyment of the natural beauty, and he thinks he knows the owner of the woods and also that the owner cannot see him admiring the woods as he lives in a village away from the woods. This is the main or central theme of the first stanza. If I ask the question, where was the owner's house? I mean, answer the owner's house was in the village. Why was the poet stopping there? To see the beautiful nature or to lose himself in the enjoyment of natural beauty. In this way, now we have to go the second. With the second stanza, my little horse must think it queer means surprise or strange, to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. My little horse refers to how much the poet loved his horse. The poet affectionately told that his horse is so little, or his little horse. Affectionately, the poet addresses the horse as his little horse. Most think it queer, is surprised to stop without a farmhouse near, because the poet here told that the poet's horse cannot understand why there should be a stop when there will no farmhouse in the sight, and also in such an uncomfortable situation as it is snowing. ସେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେତେବେଳେ ବା when the poet stopped for a while in the jungle, at that time the horse thought that why his master stopped here, because there was no farmhouse, there was no rest house nearby ତ ରହିବା ପାଇଁ ରେଷ୍ଟ ନେବା ପାଇଁ କିଛି ଜାଗା ହିଁ ନାହିଁ, ତାହେଲେ ଆମର ମାଲିକ ଏଠି କାହିଁକି ରହିଲେ, ସେଇଟା ହେଉଛି ଆମର ହର୍ସ ଭାବିଛି। and between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year, the poet stopped for a while in the jungle between the woods and the frozen lake. And the darkest evening of the year means the evening is seemed to be so dark. Here the second stanza's theme was The poet's horse cannot understand why the poet stopped there for a while. There was, even if there was no farmhouse there to take rest. So the horse is surprised to stopping at farmhouse, and the master has is a master of the fact, stopping not for the rest but for a brief enjoyment of the beauty of the woods. ତାପରେ ମାଷ୍ଟର କିନ୍ତୁ କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ରହିଥିଲେ? The poet stopped here to fulfill or to feel his beauty, but to feel the beautiful nature, or for a brief enjoyment of the beauty of the woods. Next, third stanza. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds sweep of easy wind and a downy flake. Harness bells means the small bells attached to the band around the neck of a horse. ହର୍ସର ବେକରେ ଗୁଡ଼ା ଯାଇଛି ଗୋଟେ କଳା ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଫଟେ ଅର୍ ବେଣ୍ଡଟେ, ସେଥିରେ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ମଲ୍ ବେଲ୍ସଟେ ଲାଗିଛି. And ask if there is a some mistake. At that time, the horse wanted to know that why the poet stopped there for a while. So he wanted to know why he stopped here. So he shook his harness bells to ask if there is some mistake. মানে by mistake তুমি রয়ে যাইছ কি? The only other sounds of a sweep. One sound is harness bell sound and other sound is sweep of easy wind. Easy wind ମାନେ ମୃଦୁ ମଳୟର ପବନ. ଆଉ ପବନର ଶବ୍ଦ ଶୁଭୁଛି ଆଉ ଘୋଡ଼ାର ଶବ୍ଦ ଶୁଭୁଛି. ଆଉ ଡାଉନି ଫ୍ଲେକ୍. ଫ୍ଲେକ୍ ମିନ୍ସ ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ପିସ୍ ଅଫ୍ ସ୍ନୋ. ଡାଉନି ଫ୍ଲେକ୍ ମିନ୍ସ ଆମର ପିସ୍ ଅଫ୍ ସ୍ନୋ ଆର୍ ଫଲିଂ from the sky to the downward. So that is the downy flake. The downy flake sound, easy winds sound, and harness bell sounds are heard to the right. So what is the main theme of the third stanza? Now the poet's horse is not impressed by the woods. She does not understand why they have stopped in such a lonely place, especially as there is no sign of any farmhouse nearby. The horse shakes his harness bells as if to ask whether his master has stopped by mistake. But the only sound that is there is the swift movement of the wind and the fall of the flakes of the snow. Next, we have to understand the fourth stanza, last stanza of that poem. Next, here the woods were lovely and dark and deep, but I have promises to keep. The miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. The poet repeated this line for the 2 times because he emphasized that miles to go before I sleep. The before he slept, he has to go, he has to pass so miles to fulfill his dreams. ମାନେ ଶୋଇବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ, ଚିରନିଦ୍ରାରେ ଶୋଇବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ବା ମରିଯିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ବା ଡେଥକୁ ମିଟ୍ କରିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ବହୁତ ଦୂର ଚାଲିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ, କାରଣ ତାଙ୍କର ଏମ୍କୁ ସେ ଫୁଲଫିଲ୍ କରିବେ. ଆଉ କ'ଣ କହିଛନ୍ତି? woods are, the poet here describes that the woods or jungles are lovely, dark and so deep. So he have promises to keep. ତାମାନେ he have promises has promises to keep that. The beauty of the woods tempts the poet powerfully to stop the journey and lose himself in the enjoyment of the natural beauty. Natural beauty ପୁରା ମଜି ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି poet and lose himself, ନିଜକୁ ହରେଇ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି in the enjoyment of the natural beauty. So he remembered that he has promises to keep. ତାଙ୍କୁ promise ରଖିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ. Duties to perform, a long journey to complete before he can rest. Rest ନେବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ he has to keep his promises, he has to fulfill his dreams, he has to do his duty, etc., etc. The intensity of the poet's feelings finds a beautiful expression in this stanza. In this stanza, the poet expresses how much he loved his duty, even if he loved the natural beauty so much. He loved the natural beauty so much, and he loved to do his duty perfectly before he was going to deep sleep. So he has to pass, he has to cover, he has to fulfill his dreams before a long sleep. So this is the third stanza or last stanza of the poem. Here, the main or central theme of that poem was the stopping by the woods on a snowy evening means the poet was totally fascinated or moved by the beautiful nature of the jungle. So he stopped for a while to feel the pleasure of the beautiful nature of the jungle. But he can't stop for many times or most time here because he remember to keep his promises, to fulfill his dreams, to reach at his goals before he goes to the deep sleep. So this is the main theme. Poet ଏଠି ଚାହିଁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଗଭୀର ନିଦ୍ରାରେ ଶୋଇବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ, ଚିରନିଦ୍ରା ପ୍ରାପ୍ତ ହେବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ, ସ୍ୱର୍ଗବାସୀ ହେବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ତାକୁ ବହୁତ କାମ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ, ବହୁତ ପରିଶ୍ରମ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ ଏବଂ ବହୁତ କିଛି ପଥ ଅଛି ବହୁ ଦୂର ଅତିକ୍ରମ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ। ତ ସେଠାରେ ପଏଟ୍ ନିଜକୁ ନିଜେ ଏଠି କହିଛନ୍ତି। ତ ଦେଖାଯାଉ ଏ ପଏଟ୍ଟି ହେଉଛି ସୁନ୍ଦର ପଏମ୍ ଗୋଟେ। ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଦିସ୍ ପଏମ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଆଉ ଇନ୍ସପାୟାରିଂ। ସୋ this beautiful poem narrated by the Robert Frost was so nice, so wonderful and so inspiring, or it's just amazing. So ଆଜି ଆମେ ଏଇଠି ସବଜେକ୍ଟ ରଖିବା। ଏଇଭଳି ଭାବରେ ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରତିଦିନ ମୁଁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବି ଯେଉଁ ଫିଜିକ୍ସ, କେମିଷ୍ଟ୍ରି, ମ୍ୟାଥ୍ ଏବଂ ଇଂଲିଶ ଇଜ୍ ଏ କମ୍ପଲସରି ସବଜେକ୍ଟ। ତ ଏଭ୍ରି one can say that, and even if the arts, science, commerce students can see this video, because the English is a compulsory subject, they all have to study the English, because English is international language, and if you go abroad for the higher study, English language is most necessary to share your feelings. That so that's why the English is most necessary for us. We have to study English so intentionally. Then this was the first video of the first students of the English, that was the first poem of the stopping by the woods on a snow evening. In next video we have to study the physics, then chemistry, then math, then English. The biology is the optional subject, so that's why biology topic was not to be taught by me. ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସମୟ ବି ପାଖରେ ନାହିଁ। ଯାହା ବି ହେଉ ଏଇଭଳି ଭାବରେ ଚ୍ୟାନେଲକୁ ସବସ୍କ୍ରାଇବ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ, ବହୁଳ ମାତ୍ରାରେ ଭଲ ପାଇବା ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ଏବଂ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଭାବରେ ମୁଁ ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ନେଇ ଆସିବି ବିନା ଫ୍ରି ଅଫ୍ କଷ୍ଟରେ ଏଇଭଳି ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ତୁମମାନଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖିପାରିବେ। ତୁମମାନଙ୍କୁ ସୁନ୍ଦର ସୁନ୍ଦର ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ତୁମମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ନେଇ ଆସିବି। ଆଉ ଯଦି ବୁଝି ନ ପାରୁଛ ତ କମେଣ୍ଟ କରନ୍ତୁ ଏବଂ ମୋତେ ବୁଝାଇବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବି। ତ ବହୁଳ ମାତ୍ରାରେ ସେୟାର କରନ୍ତୁ ମୋ ସାଙ୍ଗମାନଙ୍କ ସହିତ, ଯାହାଦ୍ୱାରା କି ସେମାନେ ଇଂଲିଶ ମଧ୍ୟ ପଢ଼ିପାରିବେ ଆଉ ଫ୍ରି ଅଫ୍ କଷ୍ଟରେ। ତେଣୁ କେବଳ ତୁମମାନଙ୍କର ସେୟାର, ଲାଇକ୍ ଆଉ କମେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ମୋ ପାଇଁ ମୂଳ ସଜିବ। ଦୟାକରି ସବସ୍କ୍ରାଇବ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ ଆଉ ମୋତେ ଏଭଳି ଭିଡ଼ିଓ କରିବାକୁ ଶକ୍ତି ଓ ସାହସ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ। ଷ୍ଟେ ହେପି ଇନ୍ ଏ ହୋମ୍, ୟୁଜ୍ ମାସ୍କ ଆଣ୍ଡ ମେଣ୍ଟେନ୍ ଦ ସୋସିଆଲ ଡିଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସିଂ। ଗଡ୍ ବ୍ଲେସ୍ ୟୁ, ଟେକ୍ କେୟାର।